If you're learning Spanish, it is likely that you get annoyed by the fact that you can't remember all the words. Firstly, know that this is normal, right? It's a really common frustration when we're learning a language. It's kind of unavoidable as well. Like, we forget words in our own language, so obviously we're going to forget them in another language too. The first piece of advice that I'm going to give you is repetition. Now, this seems kind of obvious. However, I think a lot of people forget that even if you read a word like 3 times, you're probably not going to remember it forever. We need to read words between 5 to 7 times for it to be stored within our short-term memory, and then we need to keep repeating over a series of days and weeks and months for it to be stored in our long-term memory. And there's multiple ways that you can repeat words in Spanish. My personal favorite was always writing words down. I know that we use our phones a lot these days, our laptops, but I just think there's nothing better than a pen and paper for learning Spanish. And then obviously saying the word out loud over and over again as well is good. I have some pupils that like to record themselves saying words and listening to it back. That's also incredible if that works for your learning style. And the other thing which really helps you to learn words long term in Spanish, words and also verb conjugations, is context. For example, you may have certain words in Spanish that you will never forget because you learnt them on holiday. You can remember exactly where you were and who you were talking with when you learnt that word. Your brain has context for it, and therefore it's more likely to remember it. Obviously, we don't have these wonderful stories for every word that we learn in Spanish, and so we need to create our own context. When you learn a new word, try to associate that word with something that you feel in your own life. For example, my pupil the other day was learning the word espejo. Un espejo is a mirror, and she said, tengo un espejo en mi cuarto. Tengo un espejo en mi cuarto. Because she has a mirror in her room. And so she created that context by herself. I was watching her do it and I was like, yes, that is key. You know, creating these sentences that are relevant to your own life. So another bonus point has just come to mind there, as I said, that is creating little rhymes and word games to help you remember words as well. Like the word una catarata, I always remembered in school because it's the word for a waterfall. And my friend and I used to remember a cat and a rat in a waterfall, una catarata. And I'll never forget that word. So that is my advice: repetition, context, and creativity.